is touching the truth.
Alright, what is going on, guys? It's Havix here, and today I'm going to be making the second part to my playing old Unity games series type thing. This is probably going to be the last part, at least until a couple years go by and I go and play like all the games I'm working on right now, which is going to be weird because I'm going to actually have videos of me talking about working on those games, so I'll probably have a lot more to go off of than these, because most of these I don't have any type of, not documentation, but anything, any type of updates or videos and stuff on the games, except for 2 of them. But yeah, I guess let's just get right into it. So this first game here, I don't actually, like, most of these probably won't be 100% in order, because I'm not 100% sure when I made them all. But basically, this was like me testing out a character controller that I was able to get b-hopping to work on. So if you see here, I kind of made like my own b-hop game, because at this time I was playing a lot of those b-hop mobile games, which still exist for whatever reason. Like, I don't know, I'd just go on Counter-Strike. I mean, if you're on your phone, then sure, but just play Counter-Strike. But yeah, I mean, it's just b-hopping, and it's really bad b-hopping too. I mean, the controls and everything work exactly like they do in CS, they just aren't as usable as in Counter-Strike. Which, even though Counter-Strike b-hopping was kind of not intended, it still works a lot better than in games when it is intended, so that's kind of cool, I guess. But yeah, that was pretty much the game. You could just kind of jump on these little boxes here. I only did like 2, or that's actually, no, that's 2 sections. I only did 2 sections because I just made this build as kind of like a proof of concept type thing, and I never really ended up expanding on it. So I guess that's it for that. This next one here was a test for an FPS game. And this is actually, I think, the newer one, so most of these probably won't be 100% in order. But this one right here was made, I think it was like mid-2017. I was playing a lot of Call of Duty. There's actually this guy who I watched on YouTube who, I messaged him about the game, and he thought it was kind of cool because, that was when I think 2017 was when Infinite Warfare came out, so Call of Duty really wasn't doing all that well. So I messaged him with this game, and he thought it was kind of cool, so I created a character model that kind of looked like him. There's no way he's going to see this video, but Rixque, R-X-Q-E, I know it's Rage, but everyone calls him Rixque. I haven't watched his videos in a couple years, but yeah, that's supposed to be him. Which, that was something kind of cool that I put in here. It was just supposed to be like to test the physics and the shooting and everything. I really like how I used the scope here. I might end up using that for a future game. I don't know if I'm ever going to make an FPS game, but, whatever type of game I do make, if I ever need to do some type of scope for whatever reason, maybe add a sniper rifle in as like an object or something, I'm definitely going to use this this technique, because it does look really cool. Kind of like a ghost style depth of field thing. So yeah, it's kind of cool. That's about it for this game though. Alright, so this one is actually, I think this is older than the last one I showed, but it's a lot more finished, that walking animation. But pretty much what it is it's supposed to be my take on like a Call of Duty Zombies type thing. It wasn't very great, but I mean, I had a menu and everything that worked. It was called Nuclear Warfare. Kind of shows that it's kind of ripping off Call of Duty. This logo doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look great. It definitely pretty much screams made by an 8-year-old in Unity, but options does absolutely nothing. Does quit game at least work? No, it does not. Okay, I couldn't figure out how to use application not quit. But let's do play zombies here. So pretty much, oh yeah, I forgot, the sensitivity is stupid high for no reason. And I don't have a DPS, or not DPS, DPI I think it's called, right? I don't have a way to change my sensitivity on my, on my mouse, so I'm just gonna have to move this. This is actually how I used to play like Call of Duty and stuff, on this type of sensitivity. I am moving my mouse maybe half an inch. I also did not know how nav meshes worked, so these guys all just kind of follow you. And if I can remember correctly, if you go up high, do they... Or no, I might have been smart and put rigid bodies on them. Okay, I was at least somewhat smart. In one of my other older games, I actually was not the smartest, and I made all of them just kind of float towards you when you were up higher than them. Because literally I just made them rotate towards the player and then walk forward. So this game, there really isn't that much to do. You could go kill these zombies, go up in rounds. The only thing is, the rounds weren't actually depending on like how many zombies you killed. Well, it was, but there weren't a certain amount of zombies per round. They'd just keep spawning, and your round would go up as you killed more. So I wouldn't really call that a round system, but that's what I had. This map was actually kind of cool, even though they were all just straight off the asset store. You know, I think I might have had an invisible wall. I probably didn't, so you could probably just walk off the edge there. But it doesn't look terrible. This was made in Unity 4, actually, so that kind of shows its age, because this was made, I think it was after Unity 5, but for about a whole year, I just didn't want to switch because I was being stupid and I couldn't figure out how to like tile stuff and all that, because they like moved it or something. I don't even remember. Something kind of similar is happening with the new Unity 2019.3, which, by the way, I wish they would just go back to the numbering. I know there's a reason why they went to the dates, but I wish they'd just go back to numbering, because I wish there was a Unity 6, Unity 7, instead of 2019.3.F8 or something stupid like that. But I mean, at least they update it more often. But yeah, Unity 4 was completely useless. I'm so happy that they changed a lot of stuff in Unity 5, because back in Unity 4, I think you had to pay to get shadows, or yeah, I think you had to pay to get shadows. So that's why there's no shadows here, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But you know, or no, I think you had to pay to get real-time shadows, because these are baked. But yeah, it's dumb. Or no, those guys have shadows. I don't know why I don't have a shadow. Maybe my gun does? No, my gun doesn't even have one. Weird. There was some stuff like that. Maybe it was the older Unity 4 versions that you had to pay to get like shadows and reflections and stuff like that. But yeah, that's about it for this game. I do kind of like the climbing out of the ground animation, but that's about it. Okay, so the fourth, is this fourth? I don't know. I think this is the fourth or fifth game. This is just another nuclear warfare game. This was made after the zombies one, but before the one that I showed that has the really cool scopes. So that's kind of confusing. But pretty much this was another tech demo thing here. You could see it really improved from the one with the scopes. Or, yeah, well, the one with the scopes really improved from this, is what I meant. You know, their gun is way too static feeling, the scope is kind of broken, and it just isn't nice to play, you know? The other one, messing around with the physics, was actually fun, because they're kind of loose, and they kind of had that Battlefield look to it, you know? If you play CS, the gun kind of stays, like, right in the corner of the screen like this, but if you play, like, Battlefield or games like that, you know how when you move your mouse around, they kind of wave all over the place, which I really like. Maybe not to the extent that, like, some games do it. I think Rainbow Six is pretty bad when it comes to that. Something like Call of Duty or Battlefield gets it just right. It might not be Rainbow Six. I don't know. I haven't played any FPS games in a couple years. But yeah, that's about it for this. Nothing really special, same as the other ones. The reason why the Zombies one was a lot better is because I used the FPS kit, or whatever it was called. And with that, I was actually able to pretty much copy their weapon system. This one I actually tried making my own, which did not work. But yeah, I guess that's about it. Also, this map was downloaded. But yeah, I guess on to the next game, if you could even call them that. Okay, so before we come back to more nuclear warfare tech demos, this is a really cool tech demo. I really want to go continue on this game because I completely forgot it existed, but I don't really know if I want to, because then I feel like I'm gonna forget about my my racing game that I'm working on now, and people think that I forgot about it, which I probably will. I don't know. But anyway, this is a kind of Portal-inspired game, but instead of you know shooting portals, you flip gravity. Kind of a mix between Portal and can't remember the amount of V's, but it's like V V V V V V V V or something stupid like that. Very hard to pronounce name. But yeah, so pretty much you walk up here, about to go on that bridge, and it just kind of falls. So you know what you got to do? Press F to pay respects for the bridge. And also you flip, so that's kind of cool. And I could have implemented this a lot better. I know exactly how to do it. So if I do go and continue on this, that's the first thing I'm gonna change. Because right now, you see, if I'm facing this way and I flip, I'm facing. You see, I even get disoriented. I'm facing the opposite direction, which is a problem because the way I did it was I literally just made it rotate the entire map around the. Which works sometimes, but if I scale the map by -1, like if I scale it on the y-axis by -1, and then somehow find a way to account for where the player is, maybe there's a scale around function, but I doubt. But if I do that, then everything will stay in the exact same orientation, which, if you see, if I go into the next level here, it gets pretty disorienting because you have like turns and stuff, which end up kind of all over the place. Also, the cube works really nice. I'm happy with how I got that to work. But this one, you don't actually really have to do anything. You could just flip, go here. I tried working on jump pads, and literally I just used the bouncy material, which doesn't work. I don't know what the point of that is, but I still need to figure out how to get that to work right. But anyway, you see there's a button here, which if you stand on it, well, okay. So if you stand on it, it goes like that, but when you try to walk here, it just pushes you back, so you gotta place this cube down. I really like how I did the cubes. That's actually literally all I did, though, was I made it so if you're looking at it, the parent is the player. I think it worked out pretty good. I think I used the same character controller as I did in that bee-hopping game. I think I made that a little bit before that. Like I said, they're kind of out of order because I can't remember when I made some of these games. So here's when it gets disorienting, because you see I'm looking here, the little L-shaped areas to the right. Flip, now it's to the left. So that's the problem with using rotate around. There's probably some way I could have done that to make that not happen. Probably just the easiest thing to do was to scale it by -1. And, oh, null reference exception. But let's just put this here. You see, unlike the last episode, I'm actually playing some of these games because, you know, I have good memories making them, and... Oh, wait, will this mess it up? No, it won't, okay. But yeah, I have good memories making these games, and, you know, it's just, I wanted to go back through them, and yeah, this is just where it stops, so there's nothing after the 3rd level. I'm definitely going to come back to this at some point. I know someone's definitely made a game similar, but I really like the idea around this. So, that might be something I come back to at some point. Did you guys think I was done with nuclear warfare? Well, guess what? Not yet. This is the last one, hopefully forever. It has a custom cursor, which is cool. But, yeah, there's 2 maps here, Alien Assault, Western Zombies. Let's do Alien Assault because it's the only actually functional one. And it has a pretty cool Easter egg. Pretty much I just used the AU FPS kit and some map creator thing that I found on the asset store. You see, I make really good looking map. I'm about to die. Alright, no, I'm like actually about to die though. Pretty much you just go around killing zombies. It's the same thing as that other game, but this is in Unity 5 now, and the guns work a lot better. You know, there's actually like a blood effect on the screen when you take damage. There's a buying system, which is nice. Instead of you just having to find stuff around the map, you see you have materials here, which you use to... It's not really buying, it's crafting, but, you know, same thing. It's just Minecraft instead. So, there's a little Easter egg that I did, because, you know, I tried putting Easter eggs in my games thinking people would find them, which obviously they didn't. No one really played this game, actually. I think I put it on Game Jolt, and then I abandoned it, like all my other games. And, yeah, that was about it. So if I go over here, I break all of these little capsules. Don't ask me why they're random capsules around the map. But if you break them all, right here in the middle, there will be this, which I don't think I had a name for it. But it's basically just a super OP sniper rifle. And, let's buy the SMG 9000, why not? So you can see here, I should have put a skip timer thing. This game wasn't really that great. I mean, you could play it. It's kind of fun. Next time timer's broken. You could play it. It works. It's a little fun, but it's definitely nothing great. And if I kill some of these guys quick, the SMG is actually really overpowered. But wait, where's the dude who just attacked me? But if I open this up and I go to special, you see there's a black hole generator, 2500. I'm not gonna play it around 18 or whatever that is. So oh, I'm stuck on my gun. But yeah, I'm not playing to round 18, so we're not gonna do that. But yeah, there really isn't much else for this game, so that's, I guess, where I'm just gonna end it. Okay, so this next game here is called Special Delivery, and it was made for the 23rd Weekly Game Jam, which is kind of cool because I'm pretty sure I just checked and they're on like week 107. So this has been a while ago. That's like can't do math very well. Probably about 80 weeks, a little bit more than 80 weeks. So that's like 2 years. So yeah, this is definitely not 100% in order, but yeah, this game is pretty cool. It's just like a normal. This is one of my first racing games, other than the crap ones that I showed in the last video. But basically, this is just a game where you had to drive around and deliver packages because the theme was special delivery. So you're, yeah, don't ask why these benches are the size of a UPS truck. I don't know, to be honest. But if I go over here, you can see you can drive over these little green triggers here, and it says delivered one. So that's pretty much the entire game. You have a little mini map down there that doesn't really do much. It's actually how I learned to do the mini map for my Game Jam game that I just did like last week. Which, by the way, if you guys are watching this and it is before the, I think it's the 11th of August 2019. If you're watching before then, make sure to go check the link down in the description and play my game and go rate it for the weekly game jam, because yeah, I put a lot of work into that, so please go leave a rating. But yeah, kind of shameless plug aside, the game, like, it gives you more time whenever you deliver the packages, so you just kind of go until you run out of time or fuel, which also, when you run out of fuel, I think you just get a game over. But if I go, okay, if I could control it. This car drives like a boat, which, I mean, it's a UPS truck. What would you expect? But it just kind of, yeah, it takes an hour and a half to speed up. It doesn't steer very well. It's just kind of all over the place. If I had anything to change, that would definitely be it. I'd make the controls a lot better. The car not so heavy feeling, which, I mean, it is a UPS truck, but it's like unplayably heavy. But I guess that's about it for this game. There really isn't that much else to it. All of the graphics and everything I made myself. That's why everything is really bad proportions. As you can see, the door is as tall as the truck. So either this is a very small truck or those are pretty big doors, and they're pretty big doors. Alright, now this game right here is actually what I kind of built my current racing game off of. So, yeah, if you can see here, it has the same kind of graphics as my current game does. I might even bring this model back if I can find it. I think I still have this game on my computer. So I might use this model, because I don't think it looks terrible. It would need to be updated, but I could definitely use it. This did have kind of a crash cam like Burnout, but as you can see here, it doesn't really work all that well. But, I mean, it's still kind of cool. It's just like a little tech demo type thing. Yeah, you have to quit when you crash, so give me a sec. But yeah, it's just like a cool little tech demo thing. There's nothing really all that special about it. I don't even think you could take people out if this dude stops being slow. Give it a second. No, you can't like damage them and take them out. They just kind of slide. But, I mean, it's kind of cool. The controls definitely aren't where they are in, like, the current game I'm working on. Because in that game, they're actually, you know, it feels like a Burnout game, which I like. That's kind of what I was going for. In this game, it, like, doesn't want you to drift, which is an issue. In Burnout, like, it wants you to drift. That's kind of where that game started. From here, I just had, like, this little test area. I had a little city because it was originally going to be open world, so I was going to kind of use this to drive around and see how big the roads should be, how far away the sidewalk should be, stuff like that, and also kind of tweak like the physics and everything to make it so you could take really sharp corners like this. But yeah, that's about it for this game. There really isn't that much else to show. The controls are pretty bad because you just kind of slide too much. And the game I'm working on now, I've actually fixed that, and it works pretty good. But yeah, I guess that's about it. So now we're going to go on to the final game. Okay, so this final game here is probably one of the best ones I made graphically. Only issue is I ended up losing the files for it. Or I didn't lose the files for it. I think my my hard drive got corrupted, so like all of the prefab, I don't know what you call them. It's like a common issue when you mess with like files and stuff. But most of the prefabs got like disconnected, so a lot of stuff was just not there, and the game just kind of stopped working, and I lost interest in working on it. I might come back to it, but I don't really have that much interest in doing it. Credits doesn't work, options don't work, obviously. There's just, like, most of these games are just tech demos. That's kind of my issue. I talked about it in my last video. The last game that I finished, the last game that I finished was the one for the Game Jam, but before it, I don't think I've ever finished a game, so... well, I mean, I might have finished ones, but they weren't, like, in a finished state. I just kind of got bored of them and released them saying, hey, it's done. Which now, pretty much what I do is I release updates, and then once they're at a point where I'm kind of bored with it, I just stop updating it. Also, yeah, rigid bodies are a thing. But pretty much, also, sorry about the cursor in the middle of the screen. I don't know why that shows up in this build. It normally doesn't, and it shouldn't. But pretty much this game, like, I learned, as you can see here, as we go, I learned, like, a lot from these games. I learned how to do the little UI thing, where you could do F to interact. I used that in my Game Jam game. I learned how to do pathfinding AI. This was the first game that I did with nav meshes. So if you see this guy here, he's chasing me, he'll actually... lost track. So you see, he doesn't just run into a wall like that other, you know, FPS zombie game that I was working on. Also, his chest does nothing. But he doesn't just, like, run into a wall. He actually, like, finds the fastest way to you, which I've also used in some other games. But, yeah, I'm actually really happy with how these little bricks look. I kind of like how they're sticking out. Some of them stick out, some of them don't. They look a little bit too metallic. Like, they look like either metallic or very wet, which it shouldn't be either of those, so... Probably should have turned down the shininess, but, you know. Like I said, I kind of gave up on this game a while ago, so... It was kind of going to be like a Skyrim style thing, where you have to go through dungeons, like kind of a mix between, like, Zelda and Skyrim. And, you know, it was a cool idea, but like most of my games, they're pretty ambitious. Like, I feel like, yeah, I could definitely do it, and then after a while, I'm just like, no, I can't do this anymore. Also, this is supposed to be a boss, but it's just a really weak zombie. Or not a zombie, skeleton, sorry. It's just a very weak skeleton, at least until I, you know, do anything with it. If I did, I didn't. And here there's a cage, which in another build, okay, that's not supposed to happen. In another build, that's not supposed to happen. But like I was saying, in another build, you walked in here and some skeletons spawned in, and then you had to kill them and you could walk through here. That was the build that I released after the files got corrupted and like the menu is all messed up, and I just kind of gave up on the game at that point. So that was about it for the video. Sorry that, you know, I really don't have that many other games. Most of them, like you've seen here, I've just kind of given up on. Like I said, for that Gravity game, I really want to work on it. The only issue is I'm still working on another game, and I don't want people to think I, like, abandoned it too, because, you know, I'm getting somewhere with that game. I'm just kind of starting to lose a little bit of interest because I've been working on it for so long. So maybe I might take a break from my racing game that I'm working on right now and go work on some other project. Hopefully I'll actually end up coming back to it unlike these. But yeah, I don't know. I might not. But if you guys enjoyed the video at all, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about these games. If you think it's kind of cool seeing the progression, I guess. Oh, also another thing here, you can go inside these these buildings, which is kind of cool. But if you guys like kind of the progression through all these games, and you think it's, you know, a cool thing, make sure to go leave a like, hit the subscribe button. I don't normally upload game dev videos, but they seem to be doing pretty well, so I mean, hey, I'll keep making them if you guys want to keep seeing them. So if I do another game jam or something in the future, which I think it's called the Community Game Jam, that's coming up at the end of the month. There's also Ludum Dare 45, I think, in October. So if I have time for those, I'll definitely make them, and I'll do like a devlog thing and streams and everything like that. But yeah, like I said, if you guys enjoyed the video at all, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.
I'm all alone again, out of my own again, running from home again. You always telling me you can do better, shut up and show me then. I don't got time for this, I laid on the line for this, told you in confidence, all of my secrets and all of my woes. You took all of my soul, I'm on the road.